of Dwayne Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson. And Dwayne Davis knew that in his world, that required a response. And over the years, in private interviews, and public statements, and even in private calls, Dwayne Davis has repeatedly told us over and over again about the anger he felt and his own role in the revenge drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur. And now, nearly 30 years later, we're going to ask you to finally hold Dwayne Davis accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kowal. Mr. Stamps, do you wish to give your opening statement at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Quick second.
Of course, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Yeah. I think this is the immaculate.
You got it, or do you want IT to assist you?
I think I got it.
Okay.
Is that right?
Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. We spent a lot of time, I think, when we were picking a jury to determine who would be the right jurors for a case like this. Obviously, we want people who are going to reserve judgment until the end, but really look at the evidence with a critical eye. Now, what the state has just told you what they believe is the evidence in this case. But really, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself if what they're saying is really truth or fiction. Fact or fiction. I don't know if some of you recall, but I had asked a question specifically about what you were holding in your hands. And right now, for instance, you're all holding notepads and pens. That would be a fact. Right? And in this case, for instance, I had asked before about the idea of, please do this, right? Microphone. I'd ask some of you, if that microphone was buried and dug up 30 years from now, would it still be a microphone? The answer is yes. And the reason why that's important is because in this case, what they are telling you, they're representing to be a fact when it really is fiction. And it's up to you to determine what the facts are in this case. Now, I'm going to give you a timeline here for you to understand just a little bit of how this is going to work, because there's so much evidence in this case that we have to sort of compartmentalize some things. And what I've done is really just sort of focused on the 3 detectives that work this file from beginning to now. First detective you will hear about is Detective Becker. He works the file, he's the original detective on the scene. Detective Long takes over the case for about 15 years or so, and then it ends with Detective Mogg, who presents it to the grand jury in 2023. But why this timeline is relevant is you have to see the span of time for yourself. 30 years. And ask yourself this, what facts do they have after 30 years? Now, Detective Becker does what every homicide detective does when he arrives on scene. He's assigned to the case. He starts his investigation. At that particular time, though, Tupac Shakur was not dead. He was critically injured. He was at UMC. And it isn't until 6 days later that he passes away. But Detective Becker starts his initial investigation because it's pretty serious, and as a result, he just takes over the investigation. What he will testify to is that Flamingo Total on a Saturday night, in the middle of a fight between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon, it was very busy when he arrived. And he arrived at a time where he was able to determine cartridge casings, 40 caliber, that was found at the scene. That's another factor. But at some point he learns that potentially it was a Glock 40 that was the actual firearm that was used in this case. And then when crime scene analysts arrive on scene, they document the evidence. And they document the cars. That will be important, and you'll determine at some point why the cars are documented. And with regard to Detective Becker, what he'll tell you is police officers write reports. Critical. Hugely important. Why? Because at some point in the future, like in this case, 30 years later, Detective Becker will not remember details.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one, to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now. Platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now.
Is Reggie Wright Jr. He was the head of security for Death Row Records. The same security that was here in Las Vegas on the 9th of September 7th, 1996. Death Row Records was affiliated with Mob Pyru Blood, and Detectives Ladd and Brennan from Compton answered directly to Reggie Wright Sr. Becker did not trust Compton PD. And the one thing that he really didn't trust is that most of their information came from confidential informants that were not reliable. And he'll tell you that. And because of his intuition, Compton PD was shut down in September of 2000 due to internal corruption. They just evaporated that police department, and the sheriff's department for LA County absorbed the responsibilities for the police department in Compton because of the corruption that was there. Now what's facts, right? Just like the pads of paper that you have in your hand and the pen that you have in your hand, what facts can we determine from Detective Becker's efforts? First and foremost, we know that Tupac was shot multiple times. That's a fact. That can be proven. We know that it was with a .40 caliber firearm. That's a fact, due to the cartridge casing. On the corner of Flamingo and Cobble. That's also a fact, right? We're on board so far? We know the date, September 7th, 1996. That is a fact. At 11:17 p.m., we know that to be a fact as well. And then finally, that he was in a vehicle during the night, and that Tupac died 6 days later. Those are facts that will not be reviewed by anybody in this courtroom during the time we spend together. But here's the one thing. There are no facts to point to Keefe. Not one. You're going to hear about this over and over and over again. No facts like the microphone in your hand or the pad of paper that you have that you write on. Detective Long takes over the case in 2002, and he has it from 2002 to 2017. He was, interestingly enough, on the gang unit, and at the time of the shooting, he was in gangs, and he had been one of the first to arrive on scene. He will testify and tell you that every time he did something on this file, he wrote a report. Because that's important. That's what we do as a police officer. And he conducted follow-up interviews, and he made some travel to Compton. He will tell you those things. That's his role in all this. But here's the thing. Detective Long also encountered some challenges in this case. They had to hide the case file with Metro, because people were still accessing the file in Metro, and they weren't authorized to do so. So they changed the case number so that people couldn't find the file. In addition to that, what you're going to learn is LAPD reached out to him, called him up and said, hey, Detective Long, we have the gun. And we tested it, and it matches back to what you're looking for in terms of the weapon that killed Tupac Shakur. Detective Long goes to LAPD, gets the gun, transports it back, gets tested, and it comes out as not a match. Field data to test you out. This is a level of, I don't know how to put it, that was going on during this time period between Metro, LAPD, and Compton. This is what's happening during during this time period. These, according to Detective Long, became very scarce and stale, meaning that it was just taking a long time for him to follow up with people. Witnesses became unavailable. Why do you think that is? Because of the time. So as a result, memories started failing because of that time. So Detective Long had these challenges. But here's what Detective Long does. He interviews Keefe in 2009. Sits him down, has an interview with Keefe, just like the seat said. And guess what happens? Detective Long doesn't even know that Keefe had actually spoken to a task force the year before. How is that possible? Metro is the agency responsible for the investigation of Tupac Shakur's murder, and they don't even know about this. No one in that room in 2008 told Detective Long or Metro what was going on. And you know who was in the room in 2008? You had FBI in the room. You had DEA in the room. You had LAPD in the room. You had the United States Attorney for the Central District of California in that room. And Detective Long does not know about any of that. What you also learn is out of all those people in that room, not one person verifies what KPD tells them. That the FBI, the gold standard of investigation in our country, did not go out and follow up on what was said. Now, one of the things the state showed you was a picture of a car and indicated there was 4 individuals in that car. And he tells you that at some point, 3 of those individuals are dead, and Keefe is the only one that's remaining. But at the time that he gives his statement to the task force in 2008, there's another individual that's still alive. They never interviewed that individual to verify if that information was true. Why not? Because the FBI just fell asleep, that the LAPD just didn't care. Keefe was never charged for any of what he said during that time period. And it's because they knew he was full of crap. Otherwise he would have. Why wouldn't they? When Detective Long comes back to Las Vegas, he goes and he talks it over with the Clark County District Attorney's Office. You know what happened then? They didn't charge the case either. In 2009. Ask yourself the reason why that is. It's because they just didn't care about Tupac Shakur or his life? Or is it because they looked into it and realized, we can't verify this information, we don't believe this to be true? Why would the Clark County District Attorney's Office not charge him in 2009? Now, what facts do we get out of Detective Long based upon what he did for those 15 years? We don't have any facts. Outside of statements made, allegedly by KPD and other people, we don't have anything to verify any of that information. Not one single thing to corroborate the statements made by that man in 2008 or 2009. Not only by Metro, but by the FBI, by LAPD, by the DEA, by the United States Attorney's Office. No one corroborates any of this. So, 2017 comes along, and an entity called the Center of Investigative Reporting, they file what's called a FOIA request with Metro. And what that means is, FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act. It allows or requires government agencies to give up information if you ask for it. That's the rule. It's to be transparent. And people wanted to know what was going on with the murder file. This is 2017. This is years after any of the statements that were made and anything else. Where's the investigation? What's going on? Well, Metro said, no, we're not going to give it to you. So in 2018, the Senate turns around and files a lawsuit against Metro to force them to give them the file, to show them what work had he been doing over, at that particular point, I don't know, what was that, 20 years? That's when Detective Long enters the picture. What you will learn is that Detective Mogg basically says, I'm here just to close out the case. He's not here to solve the mystery of who killed Tupac. So with everything you have in front of you that you're now hearing for the first time in terms of the statements that were made in 2008, 1998, 1990, whatever, Detective Mogg comes along and says, I'm just here to close out the case. That's his role. And what you're going to learn is Detective Mogg received a copy of what's called the Death Row Chronicles in 2018. It's not a deposition. It's not testimony under oath. It's edited, and it's done for experiment purposes. He receives a copy of it. You know what happens when he receives that copy? Showing you in this case. No charges filed. Why? So, he writes a book, allegedly. Right? Allegedly, he writes a book called Constantine City Legend in 2019. You know what happened with the book? Right? Even he confesses to it. What you find is, no charges filed. What is going on? District Attorney's Office doesn't want to charge the case. No charges filed when the interview happens. No charges are filed when the book is written. What is going on? 5 years goes by, and nothing is going on with the case. But Detective Mogg says he's closing it out. Detective Mogg turns around and applies for what's called a search warrant. Now, what a search warrant is that in July of 2023, around that time period, a search warrant requires a police officer to get permission from a judge to basically violate the sanctity and privacy of your home. Right? There's got to be legal reasons for it. He's got to go through that process, and he's got to ask permission from a judge in order for him to get that. And what he does in that search warrant application is he assures the judge, hey, what we are looking for is in the home. The thing that's going to help us solve this crime, who killed Tupac, is in the home. And he signs an affidavit, and that's important. I want you to remember this. He signs an affidavit attesting to what he's saying to the judge to be true and correct. What he says is, I think we have evidence in TVB's home that will solve the murder of Tupac. So up until this point, they've got all these statements, they can't be corroborated, so now they're saying, we have evidence in this home that we think probably is in the home. And as a result, we're going to find this evidence that's going to help us solve this case. What I'm going to tell you right now is they don't find it. And in the meantime, Detective Mogg retires. He now becomes Mr. Mogg. And Mr. Mogg goes to the grand jury. And in the grand jury, it's a secret proceeding. We're not there. The defense, isn't sitting like we are here. It's just the prosecutors. There's a panel of people called the grand jurors, and you have people come up and they testify under oath. And there's really no way for the defense to challenge any of it because it's done in secret. We don't really know about it. But in this particular case, Mr. Mogg is sworn to testify truthfully. And you know what Mr. Mogg does? He just reads pages of the book into the record. He doesn't do any more in terms of an investigation than read pages of a book into the record. He never documents in any of his efforts any verification of the book before he reads it into the record. He walks up, gets on the stand, and reads the book as if it's the gospel truth. And that's what he does. He treats that book like it's fact. Now, what you're going to find out about Mr. Mogg is that he never wrote a report. So when he took over the case in 2017, all the way up until when he retired in 2023 and was in front of the grand jury, he never wrote a report. Not one time. Not like Detective Becker, and not like Detective Long, and not like any other police officer who does their job. This man never writes a report. In fact, what happens is he transitions, right? He's a Metro detective, he retires, and then he gets a job working as an independent contractor for the district attorney's office as an investigator. And as an investigator, he doesn't have any police power. He continues to work as a lead detective on this case, even though the procedure is you hand your file and your officer's report to the next detective in line. That's how this works. But he keeps the file for himself and he starts billing against the file after he retires as a detective with Metro. Because now he's an independent contractor. That's important to know. Why is that important? Because what the evidence is going to show you is that he backloaded his work. And when he finally writes a report, it's not an officer's report, it's an investigative report that spans from 2018 to current, and we just received it about 5 weeks ago. The importance of capturing everything you do, the accuracy that you would need to be able to be in court on a murder case, not some type of, college paper that you forgot to do and then the last second just put something together and, get it out the door. Mr. Mogg does not do any of that. That's going to be important later for you to consider. Because according to that report that he submitted 5 weeks ago or so, he never verified the book. According to that report, he never investigated any of the alternate theories that were out there, and you're going to hear about those alternate theories. There are people who have developed over time answers to the question, who did this and why? He never looked into any of it. Which I think, at the end of the day, don't you want to see what's out there to help you with your investigation? And according to his report, he did more on the case after he became an investigator than he did before when he was a detective. What I'm going to tell you right now is what you're going to find when you listen to all the evidence, that his work was biased, sloppy, and incomplete. Those are the three things you're going to determine for Mr. Mogg. Now, because of the fact that in terms of the evidence itself, he doesn't have much, the state's going to lean pretty heavily on their witnesses. And I'm going to give you a sampling of the type of people you're going to run across in this trial based upon their witness list in this case. First person is this guy named Reggie Wright Jr. He's the security company for Death Row Records. And what he is a felon. Second of all, you're also going to find that he's a former Compton police officer. He worked for Compton PD for about 5 years, and apparently he got disabled. At some point, he becomes a felon. You're going to learn about that. And his father, like I said before earlier, Reggie Wright Sr. was the head of the Compton PD gang unit. What you're also going to learn about Reggie is that, once again, he was supposed to be protecting Suge Knight. Where was he the night of the shooting? In addition to that, he orders his security team to not carry firearms the night of the shooting, before the shooting took place. What you're also going to learn is, he wasn't even around when the shooting occurred. So the principal, meaning the person he should have been protecting the most, would have been Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records. This man was nowhere to be found. He was sitting at a club called 662 down the street, waiting for Suge to show up, while he left his people that were working for him unarmed in the vehicles behind Suge Knight. And when push comes to shove, he orders his people to lie to police during their investigation. That's going to be called by them. That guy's going to be called by them. In addition to that, when everything was said and done, Suge Knight went to prison because he was not supposed to be in a fight in Las Vegas. He violates his release. Guess who takes over Death Row Records? Reggie Wright Jr. Now, the state is also going to bring in other people with unreliable positions, including criminal histories, financial motivations, and inconsistent statements. That are the people and the quality of the evidence that you're going to listen to in this case. Just to give you another example, there's going to be an individual by the name of Devonta Dirt Rockley. Who is he? He's been a paid informant for years. You're going to hear that they have paid him to be an informant. He will, of course, say whatever he needs to say to avoid his own criminal actions, but his testimony will be inconsistent. And that's what you have to really rely on. Is what exactly is he going to say, and can you even believe it? In addition to that, you're also going to learn about a disgraced LAPD detective by the name of Greg Cady. The state told you about him. He wrote a book. He benefited off of what was happening with regards to Keefe. Now, Greg Cady, he stole the file. What you're going to learn is he actually stole the file. He took the Tupac and the Biggie case files and walked out the door. This is an LAPD detective that they are using, or one of the people that they're going to be focusing on to establish their case. He writes the book, and then he holds himself out as the person who solves the murder. That's Greg Cady. That's the LAPD detective. Now, what you're also going to learn is Greg Cady, when he was a detective with LAPD, was basically caught manipulating witnesses. And because he was caught manipulating witnesses, it led to cases being overturned as a result. There was a court finding on this issue. A judge determined that. And there we go. That's Greg Cady. That's a witness in this case from that. Now,
That BSN you've been wanting? More affordable than you think at WGU with low flat rate tuition per each 6-month term. Apply free at wgu.edu.
You just got hired as a Domino's beta tester. Just order some pizza and you'll get paid $5 towards next week's order.
delays. By who, though? And there's corruption. How do you look at your information that you're receiving with anything more than just like skepticism? Like, you're going to look at this stuff and be like, well, I mean, you have a motive to lie. You have a motive to tell or deceive. And it's because at the end of the day, there's not actual facts. When you get past all the talk and me talking, just look at the actual facts. What facts do you have to support any of what KPD said on any of his interviews or in the book? When you look at this relevant timeline again, and you see the length of time, ask yourself, what facts do they have to even put KPD in a car in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996? What facts? When you look at the video that happened at the MGM, look for them. Try to find them in there. Try to find any of the other individuals. Remember, he said there's 3 individuals in the car with him and Orlando Anderson. Orlando's in the video because he's getting beat up. Find any of the other individuals on the videos of the MGM. Look for evidence that shows that KPD was even in Las Vegas on the night of the fight. Receipts, credit cards, a picture of him standing next to somebody else, maybe watching the fight from another casino. Something. Give me something. In the book, you're going to learn that KPD says that he was at the fight. He was sitting on the second row. He was sitting with all the celebrities, and he was dressed in his finest gear. There's not one iota of proof that he was ever at that fight. But you know who does show an iota of proof that he was at the fight? Suge Knight. Suge Knight was raided, and at some point, there is a ticket stub to that fight, the Tyson versus Seldon fight with Suge Knight's possession. Because he went to the fight. And you would think, a fight like this, you want to show everyone that you were at the fight. There's no evidence at all that man was even at the fight. When we take fact versus fiction, really at the end of the day, what you're going to hear from witnesses that will testify to this is that KPD was known to do this. That's the testimony you're going to hear in this case. That's what you're going to hear about that man right there. And so you have to ask yourself the question. If I just say things, is that going to end up being one of those things where I'm going to be hemmed up for a murder if I just keep repeating the fiction? If I keep repeating that? The answer is no. You have to corroborate everything I say in order for it to be true. Otherwise, it's just that. Or fiction. And at the end of all the time we spend together, what you're going to find is that the state cannot prove to you beyond reasonable doubt the claim that Keefe had anything to do with a first-degree murder with use of deadly weapon. There's no facts to that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sand. State, at this time, are you prepared to proceed with your case in chief, or did you need a brief break?
just need a break to bring the evidence in, so maybe give the jury a few minutes.
Sure, we can do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are going to take a 15-minute break. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is finally submitted to you. We'll have you guys back here at 11 a.m. Please rise for the jury. For the record, the jury has exited the room. Is there anything we need to address outside the presence?
Hang on.
Okay, you guys are just going to work on marking those exhibits so it goes a little smoother?
I was going to bring the box in. We've already given our list and it's marked, and then I just need to grab the exhibits for the witnesses today.
Sounds good. All right. And then we'll give you about an hour. We'll only return about an hour and 15 before we have a break.
We're still on the record, so everybody still needs to remain quiet.
I have to stop at 12:15.
No, I'm just saying, we need to be done before 12.
Oh, gosh. Please, Mark. We'll be in business.
AI. Just generating. AI.
Tim, with Monday Sidekick, AI is easy.
Right, like I have spare time.
Just click the star and Monday Sidekick does it all. It can manage projects, craft campaigns, sorts data, you name it.
You sure it's safe?
Timmy, your data's protected.
Maybe this Monday thing can help us out. Thanks, Llama. You're oddly reassuring.
I get that a lot. Must be the first.
Monday Sidekick. AI you'll love to use. Monday.com.
Life should have a pause. At Amini's, we really care about your health, mental, physical, and emotional. Hot Spring, the #1 hot tub brand, on sale now at Amini's.
On record in State versus Davis. Anything we need to address before bringing the jury in?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring him in.
Actually looks a lot better than mine. So this is Rufino's. Yeah, you don't want to do more Rufino's? No. Just that one. This one? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And that's Rufino's where we got the whole box there, man, which is why the cops are in the garage. Gotcha. To see the person build it. No, it's Rufino in the corner. And Ford. Oh, okay. Different guy. The handwriting on them. Yeah, well, I guess maybe they get taught how to do that. Yeah, it's like in this class. Yeah, see, that's what architect. All right, so he goes off and stuff. That's the stolen Dodge Caravan. I see. Thank you. Hey, 30 years later, we'll figure out the facts. Don't worry. We'll get there. As long as they're facts. What a really fast. What a really fast.
Have a jury.
parties stipulate to the presence of the jury.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
You may be seated. All right, State, you may call your first witness.
Gary Dale.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this session shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Gary, Garry. Last name is Dale, Dale.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Ducklin, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sir, back in September of 1996, how were you employed?
I was working for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at that time.
And how long did you wind up working for Metro?
25 years total.
On September 7th of 1996, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to a bike team on bicycles on the Strip, Las Vegas Strip area.
Is the uniform similar to the ones they have today where you're wearing the yellow shirts, or were you wearing something different?
Yellow shirts and black pants.
I would direct your attention to right around 11 p.m. What part of the Strip were you working?
I was working the little bit further south end, south of Flamingo.
And did you have a partner?
Yes, I did.
What was his name?
Richard Golgart.
While you were working on that area of the Strip, did you cause there to be some sort of car stop of a vehicle?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the purpose of stopping this vehicle?
I initiated a car stop on a black BMW that had no license plates.
May I approach, Judge?
You may.
First, I'm going to show you what the emergency state's proposed exhibits 1 and 2. Now, there's some obvious markings on here, but these appear to be two aerials of the Las Vegas Valley from generally around the time period of the 2096 area.
Yes, sir.
Accurately reflect kind of the locations that they're describing on there. Flamingo, Harmon.
Yes.
Move to admit 1 and 2, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted. You may publish.
I'm going to start with exhibit number 1. And right next to you, don't click it, but there is a mouse that you can roll around with a pointer. Can you generally tell me where this car stop occurred?
It won't work because you're doing it off of your computer.
I have it plugged in. It works.
There it goes.
So it will work.
Just trying to wrap around the boulevard here.
So if I told you that red dot's Harmon and Flamingo, or sorry, Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes, sir. A car stop was right around, I believe it was right around this area.
So just south of Flamingo on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes.
When you approached the vehicle, did you recognize the occupants?
No, I did not.
Why did you stop this vehicle?
It had no license plate on the back.
When you approached the vehicle, did the occupants communicate with you?
Yes.
And did you, at that point, did you learn their identity?
They told me who they were, but just as identifying them, not.
Did you know them?
No, I
when
didn't.
They told you their names?
They told us their names because we asked them their names, but I didn't know. I had no knowledge of them before that. We ID'd them.
As you sit here today, do you recall who they were?
Yeah, Tupac Shakur and Marion Knight.
May I approach?
You may.
Showing you grand jury exhibit number 3. Is that how the two of them appeared to look that evening when you approached them?
Yes.
In particular, Mr. Shakur is wearing or has on a very large gold necklace.
Yes.
Did you talk to him about that necklace?
Yeah, we talked to him for a few minutes out there, and I was just remarked to him, "Wow, man, that's That's a huge piece of gold or something like that he had around his neck.
Would you describe your interaction with them as congenial?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask them about the license plate, why their vehicle had no license plate?
Yes, I did.
And what was the response?
They stated that they were filming a video, so they had taken the license plate off because they were filming a video going up and down the strip.
Move to admit 3, Judge.
Any objection?
I'm sorry. No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted, you may publish.
And this large gold medallion is what we're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did that interaction with Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur end?
We told them that they were going to have to put the plate back on their car, and we warned them and released them.
Did you remain down on the strip, in the strip area after they left that car stop?
Yes, sir.
We'll fast forward about, let's say, 10 minutes later, something unusual happened. What happened?
We were continuing riding on the strip area. We were heading southbound on the boulevard, and we heard some calls come out about a vehicle. Can't remember exactly what was said, but heading up towards Harmon, we saw the vehicle that had been described in the median of the road. It looked like it had ran up on the median and was stopped there in the middle of the boulevard.
What do you do when you see that?
We approached the vehicle.
Is it you and Mr. Goldberg? Or Officer Goldberg?
Officer Goldberg and I.
And do you see either of the two people that you saw earlier in the vehicle?
Yes.
And who is that?
Marion Knight was outside of the vehicle, walking around, talking, and Tupac Shakur was being removed by EMS people.
As Marion Knight is talking, do you recall anything he's saying?
He was telling us to take care of Tupac Shakur. He had Marion Knight had a chunk of shrapnel or something in his head. He was bleeding, and when I went to talk to him, he was adamant that we needed to go and care for Mr. Shakur.
Did you then go to Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I did.
And then what do you do? What's your responsibility as it relates to Mr. Shakur as the EMT is working on?
I was trying to talk to him to find out what had happened. Excuse me. Gather information to see who had fired at them.
Did you wind up riding anywhere with Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I rode to the hospital in the ambulance with him.
During that time period, between the time you get to Mr. Shakur and the time period he gets taken into the hospital, are you able to have any sort of communication with Mr. Shakur?
He was still talking, and I was trying to convince him to tell me the name of whoever his assailants were.
And did he ever respond?
Yes, he responded, no, we'll take care of it. So, something like that.
No, we'll take
care of it, something like that.
And that's the only thing you were able to gather from Mr. Shakur?
Yeah, I couldn't get him to talk to me any further than that. That was repeated a couple of times.
Approach with a few photographs. Obviously, when an incident, let me back up. When an incident like this happens, there's first responders, but then there is detectives, crime scene analysts, everybody who's called out. Is that
yes,
correct?
sir.
Showing you what's been marked as grand jury exhibit number 4. You recognize the individual who appears to be inside of that vehicle at that time?
Dan Ford.
Do you know what he did for Metro?
At the time, he was a detective. I was not there when that photograph was taken. But at the time, he was a detective. I'm not sure what he was, homicide or general assignment, or
could he be a crime scene analyst?
Crime scene analyst, CSI.
Okay. And then I'm just going to show you a few other pictures of the vehicle itself, showing you State's proposed exhibits 5 through 8. Just flip through those. Is that how the vehicle appeared to you when you first arrived on scene? Obviously without people in it.
Right, on the scene of the, where it stopped in the middle of Harmon Boulevard.
Move to admit 5 through 8.
Any objection, Mr. Stamp?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted, you may publish.
And then finally, while you were at UMC, did you collect some personal items off Mr. Shakur?
Yes.
And showing you what's been marked as State Proposed Exhibit number 33. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
That's the objects I removed from Tupac Shakur. I impounded those into evidence. There should be a property report for those.
Let's talk about that large gold chain we see in that photograph right there. The second time you came across Mr. Shakur, was he wearing that gold chain that's around his neck?
No.
And so you weren't able to recover that from him at the hospital?
No.
Judge, I'm just going to put up a few of these photographs.
Okay. My clerk's letting me know that 4 was not admitted.
Move to admit 4.
Any objection, Mr. Stamp?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted.
Showing you 4. That's Mr. Ford appearing like he's inside that vehicle.
Okay.
5. That's the front of the vehicle. Yes?
Yes.
Sorry, she's typing down everything, so you got to answer yes or no.
Apologies.
That's the rear of the vehicle without the license plate still?
Yes.
Number 8 is the driver's side of the vehicle.
Yes.
And, oops.
Mr. DeJacmo,
Right, no, I
33
put the
also
wrong
not
one up,
admitted.
Judge.
Okay. Withdrawn.
There you go. 7. That is what the passenger side of that vehicle looked like.
Yes.
Finally, for you, 33. Those are the items you were collected off Mr. Shakur at the hospital.
Yes.
As Mr. Samt has requested, and I have agreed, to also offer Dan Ford's CSA report, as Mr. Ford is not physically capable of coming to court to testify.
Builders. It's not our job title. It's a mindset. Base 44. We're done. Done waiting. Done accepting something can't be done. We're here to build. Can't is dead. Base 44.
At this particular scene, which is State Proposed Exhibits 9 through 32.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, 9 through 32 will be admitted via stipulation. You may publish.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay.
And you are Mr. Gale.
Yes.
Well, welcome back to the courtroom.
Thanks.
So let me ask you this. So how long had you been working for Metro until you retired, basically?
Like 13 years?
I see. And at the time when you were on the bicycle on September 7th, 1996, how long had you been working for Metro at that point?
Yeah, I thought that's what you asked to begin with. I started in '83, so it would have been right around 13 years.
I see. And obviously, when you are first a police officer, you go through an academy before you become an actual police officer.
Yes, sir.
And you learn skills and techniques and things to help you become a successful police officer.
Yes.
One of those things I would imagine would be writing reports.
Yes.
Now, fair to say, though, in this particular case, what you had seen, what you had done was basically you saw a license plate that wasn't on a vehicle, you stopped them, you asked for their ID, and at some point you just allowed them to continue on their way.
Yes.
So there was no need to write a report about that?
No.
Okay. Did you write a report with regards to that stop?
No.
Okay. Now, when you were present at the scene and you saw the vehicle stop, do you know if any other vehicles were behind it?
No, I did not see any other vehicles behind it, so I don't know.
So there wasn't like a caravan or a line of vehicles behind the black BMW when you stopped the BMW?
No.
Can you describe for us a little bit about what the area was like on the night of September 7th, 1996?
It was a pretty average night for the Strip as far as the amount of traffic flowing and things like that. Not particularly crowded or packed or anything like that. The area we stopped in had some lighting, but it wasn't like right in front of a hotel or something that cast a lot of lighting on the area or anything like that. But,
I see.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
So there was nothing out of the ordinary as to that particular date and time in terms of any special events going on in Las Vegas at that particular time?
I'm sorry, there was always something going on the Strip, so I heard that things were going on that night, but I was really aware of them.
Were you ever aware that on that particular night there was a championship boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon that was being held at the MGM?
Yes.
All right. And I would venture to say that would be something that would have been briefed to all the police officers prior to you going on your shift for that night.
No, we didn't really talk about it.
All right. And then with regards to the amount of traffic, you're saying that even though this championship fight had taken place, in your opinion, there wasn't a lot of traffic on the Strip?
Not more than ordinary.
Okay. And when you say not more than ordinary, can you describe for us what that means exactly?
So the Strip is always pretty crowded, or was at that time. So, that's why they had us out there on bicycles. It's because we could get in between in and out of cars. So I guess when we conducted the car stop, there was enough traffic that we felt comfortable that he was going to have to stop and pull over. They wouldn't be able to just take off on us.
Right.
And that's the best description I have. That's why we rode bikes out there. So, but there was always traffic in that area. So it's always congested over there.
Okay, and that's probably the best way to put it, right? It's still congested for Las Vegas.
Yes.
But it's normal for Las Vegas to be congested.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it wasn't like, for instance, I don't know if you were around Las Vegas in 2020 when you could just take your bicycle and just ride down Las Vegas Boulevard with like no one around, right? It's not that kind of
It's not like that.
All right. And when you say congested, meaning that cars could not go very fast because there's always cars around in that area.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had arrived on scene, and then at some point you're actually in the ambulance with Mr. Shakur.
Yes.
Being transported to the hospital.
Yes.
And the hospital you were going to was UMC?
It was UMC.
Okay. Now, when a police officer first arrives on scene, is that police officer considered to be the primary officer until such time as they are relieved of that duty?
Ordinarily, yes.
Were you the primary officer at that particular scene? Were you the first officer on arrival?
I don't really remember. There were so many of us that showed up like at right around the same time. There's just a lot of officers showed up there pretty quickly.
Right. Now, I mean, you have a pretty clear memory of this. Did you review any records or have any meetings with the district attorney's office prior to your testimony here today?
Yes, I did. I reviewed the records.
Okay. And once again, you do that so it'll help you refresh your recollection as to what occurred 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Even though this might be something that's unusual, right? You have a celebrity who's shot on the strip, you still have to refresh your recollection in order for you to remember things.
Some of it, yes.
Yeah. And once again, you're doing that so you make sure that for this jury that you're accurate about what you recall 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, you were shown a map, and I'm going to show you again here. This is State's Exhibit number 1. See this?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me, this map, do you know if this map was the actual map in 1996 of the Las Vegas area?
No.
You're smiling.
It's just a long time ago. It changes so much down there.
Yeah. So we know that this is a map of Las Vegas.
Yes.
But you cannot tell us, for instance, if this is 1996.
No, I cannot tell you.
Okay. So, for instance, on the top over here, this doesn't look like the Sphere, does it?
No.
Does it?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then down over here, does this look like T-Mobile or anything like that, as far as you can tell?
No.
Okay. Now, and once again, I just want to make sure I'm clear for the jury. This particular map, as it sits here right now, as it's here, for instance, we have what looks like down here at the bottom. I'm pointing where the MGM label is right here. Do these look like bridges or walk bridges over the streets?
I can't really tell.
Let me just scroll here real quick. Does that help you?
Yeah, they do look like walkways.
And fair to say that those walk bridges in 1996, people were still walking on the streets crossing like pedestrian crosswalks, right?
I'm trying to recall. I couldn't honestly recall. I remember them taking the crosswalks out and putting those walkways in.
Right.
I remember when they did that, but I don't remember the year they did it.
And once again, I'm not trying to. It's not a catch-a moment.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to say something that I can't be sure of, but I remember when I was down there working, they no longer allow traffic to cross on foot across the strip because of all of the accidents that we had. So they put those walkways in when I was still working.
Right. Okay. Now, and just finally here, with regards to the when you're riding on the strip and you're riding with your with the other person that's with you, you said at some point you were made aware that there was a shooting that had occurred, and the radio traffic indicated that the vehicle you had stopped was potentially the vehicle that was being involved. Remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us just really quickly here, based upon State's Exhibit number 1, and once again, we're not looking at it in terms of an accurate 1996 view, but just in terms of the streets. Can you tell us where you were at when you took off to wherever the vehicle was? And I'll just pull that here real quick so you can.
Thank you.
Sure.
I couldn't really tell you where we were because my memory serves me. It was called out right around the same time as we were rolling up on that vehicle.
Okay.
There was shots fired call and vehicles involved, and then we rolled up and saw that vehicle in the middle of Harmon.
And when you rolled up and you saw the vehicle, can you tell us other vehicles that were behind that vehicle? Were there any other vehicles in an entourage behind the black vehicle?
There were several vehicles stopped all over the strip. It looked cluttered with cars, so I couldn't tell you if they were with them or not.
Sure. Did other police officers aid in terms of securing the scene and making sure that anything of evidentiary value was going to be kept in that area?
Yes.
Because I would imagine it wasn't just you by yourself.
Right.
Your partner, other officers arriving on scene would have started to help as a team.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any redirect examination, Mr. DiGiacomo?
No, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you have any questions for this witness? If you do, please raise your hand and I'll walk you through the process. Seeing no hands, thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Dale. You are excused.
Thank you.
State may call their next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. State calls Ingrid Stokes.
Yes.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Ingrid Stokes, INGRIDSTOKES.
Thank you, ma'am. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Paul, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Stokes.
Good morning.
Back in 1996, did you have a different last name?
It was Johnson.
Okay, so you went by Ingrid Johnson back then? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you come to Las Vegas on the weekend of September 7th, 1996?
Yes.
Who'd you come with?
My best friend and some girlfriends.
And can you tell me who they were?
Shalane, Tanisha, and Lauren.
And why'd you come to Las Vegas that weekend?
Well, when you live in LA, you go to Vegas all the time. It's just a party city. So we decided to go for the weekend. We were all off work. And so we went to come hang out, have fun.
And were you aware, and well, first let me take a step back. So you guys were living in LA at the time?
Yes.
What part of LA?
I may have been living at my dad's, which is Carson.
Okay. And then and you came out for the purposes to party. Were you aware that there was a Mike Tyson fight that weekend?
Yes, that's one of the reasons. There was always a Mike Tyson fight. But we were coming because my friend knew one of the managers or coaches, I forget what they're called, and we had planned on going to the fight.
Did you end up going to the fight?
No.
What happened?
4 women in a bathroom did not work. We took too long. We missed the fight completely.
And so, where were you staying that night?
I believe we were at the Lexor, or the Rio, but I think it was the Lexor.
Okay. And then, did you ever actually make it to the MGM where the fight was?
We made it to the let out, is what I call it, because the fight was already over, so everyone was kind of hanging out. So we went to see what was going on for the night.
And did you hang out there for a while?
I don't remember, but it would have been enough time to run into a few friends and say hello and hang out, and maybe drink or two, maybe.
So, what did you do after hanging out at the MGM Grand?
Well, we had met one of my friends, and they had mentioned there was somewhere they were going to go. So we decided, okay, we'll go there first and see what's happening before we decide, where we're going to end the night. So we all got back in our car, the rented car we took from LA, and drove.
And do you recall what kind of car that was?
It was a convertible Supreme.
And did all 4 of you go into the car?
Yes, all 4 of us were in the car.
And what happened once you guys started driving?
That's a loaded question. A lot happened. We got in the car. I believe we left the MGM parking lot, and then we went to the main street, Las Vegas Boulevard, I guess. And we were driving, and I believe we were, I don't know, about 10 minutes after leaving the parking lot, and then we ran into Suge and Tupac in the car.
And when you say you ran into them, what'd that look like?
Well, we were driving, hanging out in a convertible, and my girlfriend Lauren at the time, she knew Suge, and she told us, "Hey, there's Suge. Pull up next to him. I'm gonna ask them what they're doing." And so Shalane was the driver, and she slowed up close to them.
And so you said Shalane was the driver.
Yes.
Where were you seated?
I was a passenger in front.
In the front passenger? So Shalane's driving, you're in the front passenger, and the other 2 women are in the back seat?
Yeah, Tanisha's behind me, and then Lauren is behind the driver.
After all these years, you still remember that, huh?
Well, yeah. Some things you don't forget. That one you forget.
And so then when you start driving, or when you see Suge, and your friend starts talking to Suge, what happens?
They were talking, and she was like, "What's going on? What's happening?" We look over initially, we pull up to the car, and we kind of nod or say hello, that kind of thing. But we were in our own little world. While she was talking to him, he said, "Hey, we're all going to the club. Why don't you follow us? Get behind us. You can go with us." And so that was decided we'll go there first and see what's happening before we go anywhere else.
So do you follow, do you remember who's driving and who's in the passenger side?
Suge was driving and Tupac was in the passenger seat.
All right. I believe State's Exhibit 3 has already been admitted. We're going to publish that. Is this kind of the way they looked that night?
that was just like this.
And so, so you decided to follow Suge and Tupac to the club?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
That's okay. And so, do you recall the name of that club?
It was an area code, so I remember it was 662 or 702, but now I know it's 662.
And then what did you do? Did you guys start driving over to Club
We
662?
we got behind them and we started driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and it was weird because there was a car behind us and they kept going around us trying to get in front of us. It happened quite often. It was really annoying. We didn't understand what was going on. And then at one point we were getting ready to turn to go on the main street. I guess Flamingo was on, or Flamingo, I think is what it's called. When we turned that way, I was like,
Jarritos, respect the taco.
about it.
And then at some point on Flamingo, do you stop at a light?
Yeah, so when we get close to the light, I tell Shalane, pull over, I'll drive. I know where I'm going. I've been there before. So we pull from around them, and then we stop at the light, and
before, that's my fault, not yours. So before, when you guys are stopped at the light, where is your car relative to Suge Knight's and Tupac Shakur's car?
So I believe there was 4 lanes, a turning lane, the lane next to it, the middle, and then there was one for like the outside lane. So they were on the 3rd lane, I believe, and when we got off the lane behind them, we got out and we went past, and I think we were a car or 2 on the 2nd lane from the light.
And so were you behind or in front of Suge Knight's car?
We were in front.
So you're in the lane next over, a car, or maybe 2 in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, while you're waiting at that light, does anything happen?
Well, me and Shalane were going to change seats. I was going to drive. I'm the more aggressive driver, and after what, she was nervous with them coming back in front of us so much. So me and Shalane were literally head down, taking our seatbelts off when we heard the gunshots, when it's all hell broke loose.
And to be fair, you didn't see those gunshots.
No.
And then what do you do when you hear the gunshots?
I freak out and I scream, what the hell? I said, what the hell? And then Shalane is kind of half up, half down, and so I grab her head to bring her down. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then she has her hand on the wheel, but she's like frozen. And so I don't remember how many gunshots there were, honestly. But I know I put the car in drive, and I told her to get the hell out of there and drive. And so I may even grab the wheel. Like I said, I'm very aggressive. And from that, she tried to drive off.
And then, did you see the color of the vehicle?
Yeah, so we almost hit the car. When we were trying to drive off, there was a car in that last lane, that was the turning lane, and it was a white 4-door. Can't tell you what kind, but I just know it was like white-ish. And we almost hit it. We were trying to get away.
Were you trying to pursue the white car?
Hell no. Just want to get away.
And then where did you guys go? Did you turn off? Did you follow them turning off? Or?
We turned off. We turned the only way you could turn because it was a red light, which was down that first street past. And then when we turned right, we were just driving fast. There still might have been gunshots. I can't speak for anyone else in the car, but it was a lot going on. There was a lot of adrenaline. And then the first street we saw that was on the left, I was like, turn left. And we just turned down a random street that had like apartments on it.
Now, it's fair to say you didn't see who was in the car, right?
No, didn't look.
But did you go back to where the shooting occurred?
Yes, I did.
Were you nervous about talking about what happened?
I didn't think I had anything valuable to say, to be honest. So I wasn't nervous initially because I just was like, we came back because when we wanted to know what happened. Because we left, so we didn't know. We didn't look around. We didn't see anything. We just left. And so when we came back, we saw there were a lot of police presence. And I wasn't a big fan of the police at the time, so I wanted to stop and talk to them and offer my help, but I also wanted to make sure if I could help, I would help. So when we went back, we told the officers we had been there when something happened, what happened when we left. And so he made us stop the car and get out the car. The police officer made us sit on the ground on the sidewalk in front of everything. Like cars are still, I think, may have been passing. So it was kind of an odd situation where they were like kind of rude to us, and then they're treating us like we're suspects. We really didn't know what happened though. And so they said, well, we need you guys, eyewitnesses, we need you guys to come downtown or in a van for you guys to come, and had us sit there. I kept asking a lot of questions, but no answers.
Now, I noticed some of your friends aren't going to be here. Is there this fear about talking in this kind of case?
Absolutely, yes.
Why is that?
Snitches get ditches, I'm saying. Not the coolest, but yeah, talking to police is not a thing we do in our culture anywhere in LA. It's not a normal thing. So there was that, especially in the 90s and the 80s. There was multiple reasons why, but I didn't see anything, so I was kind of limbo. I didn't see anything. I didn't think I'd be beneficial. And then I don't know. I was going to offer some assistance, what I could, because I may have had more memory back then. I may have heard the number of gunshots. I may have had, more. But the police treat us so bad that I just we start shutting down, because we're like, if someone did it, they could come by and sitting on the ground. They can see we're sitting here telling people, even though we're not saying anything. So this was a really bad situation.
And is it fair to say that that was something that also would scare you, is that if somebody was seeing you talk?
Absolutely.
Objection, Honor, for leading.
What's your response, Mr. Plough?
I'm just following up on her question that she's going to lay the foundation to.
I'll sustain if you could rephrase.
Okay. Is it fair or unfair to say that you are concerned about people seeing you talking to police?
Yes.
All right. No further questions, please.
Cross-examination, Mr. Sands.
Thank you, Honor. Hi, Mr. Obviously, I would imagine you've never testified before about this particular situation.
No, I was in the grand jury.
Okay, so you were at the grand jury. And with regards to your testimony, when you were in front of the grand jury, did you meet with the district attorney's office prior to giving that testimony to the grand jury?
Not except outside the door when I got to the courthouse. Okay. I mean, the door of the grand jury.
I see. And with regards to that testimony, did you review any documents, records, anything like that in preparation for your testimony in front of the grand jury?
No.
All right. Now, asking you again for today, did you review any documents in preparation for your testimony here in front of this jury?
I looked at the grand jury testimony that I said, but other than that, no.
Okay. Now, when this thing had occurred, I would imagine it would have been a very traumatic experience for you.
Yes.
And at some point you go back to L.A.?
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
That's all right. It's just for the record. When you go back to L.A., did you ever just sort of keep on top of it, like in terms of like articles that would come out in magazines, anything like that at all?
No. We didn't talk about that night for decades. We didn't talk about it.
Okay. Now, did you ever at any point capture what you had remembered in a journal or anything like that?
I did a documentary, a couple of documentaries. Yes, years, like 20 years later.
I see. And in preparation for those documentaries, what did you use to refresh your recollection back then?
Talk to my girlfriend. I mean, more talk and try to remember pieces that I could.
Right. And your girlfriend was also present in the Sebring when it happened?
Yes,
as well?
she was driving.
I see.
That's right.
Now, just to describe us a little bit that night, you're driving in a convertible Sebring.
Yes.
And I'd assume that the top was probably down.
The top was down. Yes.
Okay. And the weather that night, was it raining?
No.
Can you describe for the jury what the weather was like that night?
It was Vegas in September. It probably, I'd be guessing, but I know what it wasn't. It wasn't raining. It could have been a cloud in the sky, but I wouldn't remember that.
Was it cold?
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. We didn't have any jackets. We had designer clothes. That's why I was mad. I had to sit on the curb. But no, it was a nice, cool evening, so I would probably say in the 80s, 70s, 80s. I have no idea.
All right. But obviously, among the four girls, no jackets or anything that would indicate that it was cold that night.
Yes, no.
Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had pulled up alongside Suge Knight's vehicle at some point.
Yes.
Now, I noticed that you weren't given a map. Did you ever have an opportunity to kind of envision exactly where this had occurred?
I didn't forget that part.
Okay. If I were to show you a map, would you be able to point out for
Yes.
us exactly?
Much as I can, yes, absolutely.
Sure. I'm going to show you what's been marked in there. This State's Exhibit number 1. Just for the record, I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 1. It's just an overview of Las Vegas. Can you?
Yeah.
Does that help you at all?
No, not really, but I see the streets. It's what I thought. I'm assuming the red dot is Vegas Boulevard.
And when you say red dot, there's a mouse that's right there in front of you. You could use that to sort of move that mouse over to where. No, that doesn't do that.
I can point it, but
Now let me do this.
When you're on our computer, can you do that? This is
you can point it.
All right. So would it this be? And
Yes,
I'm using my
that's-
Sharpie. That's
yes,
the dot.
yes.
Okay. So yes, that would be Las Vegas Boulevard. Now I'm going to point over here. Do you recognize this particular area?
Yeah, that's where it happened.
Okay. And this I'm pointing now once again for the record. Flamingo, and it looks like this would be Coble.
Coble, that sounds about right.
Now, you were describing for us a little bit about where the cars were. If I were to give you a piece of paper, can you draw it for us just a little bit better so we can have a better view? And
I can try.
Okay. You want to approach?
Yes, you may.
And what am I drawing exactly again?
If you can draw for us where, on that night, where Coble was. And just for the record, you're writing Coble. Is it for the horizontal line or the vertical line?
It is the horizontal line.
Okay. So that's Coble. And then can you draw for us where Suge's vehicle was when you pulled up to it?
We were behind it.
Okay.
So it would have been, I'm just going to make lanes and don't quote me. I could be off by one, of course. So I'll say this was Suge and we were behind. So this was, I'm going to put I for me. And then we moved and went right here. So this is where we end up parking. I'm not parking, but stopping at the red light.
That's fine. And just for the record, you have made a mark that looks like an S, and I would assume that would be for Suge's vehicle?
Yes.
And then there's another I, it looks like right there, and that would be for your vehicle.
Yes.
And then you have an arrow pointing to the next lane over where the I is now at.
Yes, that's where it ended.
Okay, great. And then when the shots, when you're, I guess, trying to change seats, can you tell us where you were at that particular point?
You mean in the car?
Well, not in the car, but where the car was.
It was here when the shots happened.
Okay.
And when we were trying to flee, we were trying to get in this lane to go around and get the turn.
I see.
And that's what we ended up assuming. I'm guessing, like I said, I'm bad at direction on places I still go today.
That's right.
And then here was like a gas station or something right there. And then here was where we turned off right, which is where that first left was. So I don't know the name of the streets or anything.
No problem. I'm going to show this. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Your Honor, if I could have this marked as defense exhibit, opposed defense exhibit A,
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
and move for admission.
Any objection to its admission?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so admitted. Did you want to publish?
I would like to publish it.
Okay, feel free.
Thank you. Now, showing you what's been marked and admitted now as defense exhibit A. All right, and I will just explain this for the jury again. So where you have Coble is actually the street Coble. Is that right?
Yes.
And you have Flamingo, which would be the other street that's going vertical down the defense exhibit A.
Yes.
And then on the corner, it would be one of the corners. There's a gas station.
Yes.
Now over here, this S, that would be what you would call a Suge Knight's vehicle.
Yes.
and you were directly behind that vehicle at some point. And you pulled up, and that's the arrow pointing up to the next lane over, and that's where you were at, right next to Shook's vehicle.
In front of, not next to. That's why it's a little above.
I see. So you're slightly in front of Shook's vehicle. Was there another vehicle over here in front of Shook's vehicle?
I'm assuming yes, because we weren't at the front of the line. So yes, maybe 2.
I see. Maybe 2 vehicles, but presuming that there would be at least a vehicle in front of Shook's vehicle.
At least 2, I'd say, because there was one in front of me.
Okay. And then this lane over here is, what lane is that?
That's the a small lane that you can turn off.
Turning lane?
Yeah, it didn't say, but yes.
Yeah. And so at some point when the shots were ringing out, you just immediately just gassed the car and made a right-hand turn on Coble.
Yeah, into the turning lane.
Okay. And your testimony here right now, for instance, is that the top was down, but you didn't see...
No, I was looking down because I was initially changing my seat. So I would thank God I was all face down.
Okay. And when you pulled off and you made that right-hand turn, did anyone shoot at you?
Probably. I honestly don't know. There was a lot of gunshots.
Sure. Did any, after the event had occurred, did you ever observe any bullet holes in your vehicle?
There was no bullet holes in my vehicle.
Was there any shattered windshield as a result of anything happening on the scene?
No.
Okay. And then with regards to where you were at, when your testimony was that you were talking to Shug. Shug was saying, "Hey, come to 662." Is that what was happening?
Yes.
And during that time period, you said, and I want to make sure I'm clear, that while there was a conversation about going over to Shug's place, but it seemed like everyone was sort of talking. Like it was like the girls in the back seat maybe were having a conversation or something like that.
No. Lauren was the only one talking to Shug because she's the only one who knew him.
I see.
So nobody, we were just like, oh, okay, looking like, because it wasn't our conversation.
Right. And when that was happening, did any of your people in your vehicle yell out, Tupac, Tupac, anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, it's Tupac.
No.
Okay. Now, during that time period, as you're over here behind Shug's vehicle or next to it, did you ever see, can you describe for me what Tupac was doing in the vehicle?
When we pulled up on the side of him and she was talking to Shug, he was relaxed, like sitting in the chair, sitting in the passenger seat, and Shug was relaxed talking to Lauren. Nothing, like there was no engagement.
Okay, so as you're sitting there and you pull up, Tupac was not hanging out the window and doing something out of the window?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay.
No.
His torso was not sitting on top of the window yelling to his fans, Tupac, Tupac?
No, there was no fans around. They were just driving in the car, listening to music like we were.
All right. And during that time period, when you were here during this time period, there's a red light.
Yes.
Preventing you from moving forward. And once again, going back to Defense Exhibit A, there's no green light allowing traffic to move in the direction of Coble.
No.
Okay. So everyone was stopped at that particular point.
Everyone was stopped.
I have no further questions, John. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We do have one. Okay, so what I'll need you to do is write your juror number on the question, and then write the question on a full sheet of paper, and then.
This company made an AI service platform that will make your IT team work so much better, it feels like cheating. It's called Monday Service. It's an AI-powered service platform that eliminates most of the manual work for your team. AI agents automatically handle repetitive questions and requests, resolving everything from onboarding to IT support and step-by-step guidance. They also help reps work faster and more accurately with smart suggestions based on our knowledge base and ticket history. Less manual work, fewer mistakes. Try it yourself. You'll thank me.
Introducing Titan MFT Server, the secure, cloud-optimized, managed file transfer solution. Deploy flexibly, on-premises, in the cloud, or hybrid. Admins configure with ease. Users enjoy a friendly web interface. TLS 1.3 links, PGP encryption and granular permissions keep files secure. Automate and integrate with SFTP, SharePoint, and Google Drive. Titan MFT. Reliable, secure, and built for how you work.
Any questions from anyone else? Okay, perfect. Can I have the party's approach? All right, one question from a juror. Could you gauge what direction the shots were coming from?
No.
No? Any thought? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I understand it was just it was too chaotic, and you're not, thinking about that, but no.
Okay. State, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You are excused. That was fast. State, any quick witnesses, or are we prepared to take a lunch break at this time?
Lunch break, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our lunch break at this time. During the recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial, or read, watch, or listen to any report or commentary on the trial of any person connected with this case by any medium of information, including without limitation, newspaper, television, internet, and radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject connected with the trial until the case is submitted to you. We'll have everyone back here, let's say 1:15, so that everybody has enough time to get everything done over the lunch break. We'll see you guys back at that time. Please rise for the jury. For the record, the jury has exited the room. Anything we need to address outside the presence?
Nothing from the state.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll be in recess. I'll see you guys back right around 1:15.
Thank you.
If you need any more time, just let us know.
It should be.
He did indicate that you could go over whenever, and so if you want to go over now, you can get